Hi, I'm Rebecca Konopka, Ag Agent in Carter County, and welcome to Around the Farm.
And my name's Philip Konopka. I'm the Ag Agent in Lewis County. And today we're going to talk to you about something that's very important whether you farm 1,000 acres or a quarter-acre garden, and that's soil sampling.
As you're out collecting your soil samples, you want to make sure that you get enough cores that are representative of your field. So there's approximately 2 million pounds of soil in an acre for a slice, and that's about 6 to 7 inches deep. And when your sample is sent to the lab, they're going to use about a teaspoon of that to test your nutrients like phosphorus and potassium, and another tablespoon to test your pH. So it's important that your sample is representative of your field.
So now we understand a little bit about it. What do we need to pull a soil sample?
All right, so a couple of things. You're going to need a bucket, and you want to use a plastic bucket, not a galvanized bucket. Galvanized buckets have zinc in them, and that's going to skew the results of your sample. So you're going to need a plastic bucket, a soil probe, which you can probably check out from your local extension office, as well as a bag and a pencil or ink pen to mark your samples if you're sampling more than one field. So now that we have our supplies, how do we sample our soil?
That's a great question. It'd be an excellent idea to have a picture of your farm on paper so you can identify individually the fields and keep them straight so we can keep records year after year and see where our fertility is at on our fields. When pulling a soil sample, we want to take cores that are about 4 to 6 inches deep in a no-till situation, or if we're plowing the field, we want to go from 6 inches to the depth of the plow. You also want to do somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 to 20 cores per sample, and a sample is going to be roughly about 20 acres is going to be the largest size of your field that you need to represent for your soil sample. If you have a field that's 100 acres, then you need to pull 5 different samples to make that field up.
And you want to break those samples up based on the crop history or the drainage patterns of the soil. You want the area that you're sampling to be as uniform as possible.
As you're pulling your soil samples, it's very important to make sure that you randomly sample across the field. Don't go in straight lines or patterns like that. Make sure you don't just pull from the poor spots or the good spots. We want to shoot for an average. Remember, we're only getting about a teaspoon into the soil lab for our analysis.
After you've collected your cores, you want to make sure to crumble them up, mix up your samples well in your bucket before filling up your bag. If you stop by the extension office and borrowed a probe, you can go ahead and pick up a bag then, or you can bring your sample in a Ziploc bag. But we're going to need enough soil to fill this bag up to the top one. And like I said, you want to make sure that you have a sample that's representative of your field. So mix it up really well before you fill up your bag. You can set it out to air dry before you bring it into us.
Very important you do not put it in the oven because that can skew the results as well. After you get your sample collected, labeled properly in the bag, you want to convey the information of the crop history, the crop you intend to plant, and the use of that crop to your county agent. Once the form has been filled out properly, we'll send it off to the soil lab. In about 2 weeks, we'll get the results back, and then we can send them on to you.
As always, feel free to contact your local extension office if you have any questions.